What's up everyone, this is James Reller, and today we are going to play What Remains of Edith Finch. I think that was the name of the game. It's pretty, what is it, a couple years old, 3 years old, I'm not quite for sure. But it was on the Xbox Game Pass, and I wanted to check it out, so that is what we are going to do. So, probably do this in one playthrough. Game's pretty short, only like a couple hours long, I think, so. Alright. Can we move? Or are we just sitting here? Okay, so we have some kind of journal.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
I know this game was like very story driven. So.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
I am playing on the PC, I think max settings, so hopefully it looks pretty good.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Like this house was out in the middle of
My
freaking
mother
nowhere.
left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Am I supposed to go down? There's something down here? I hope I didn't go the wrong way.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent, as if they're about to say something but never do.
Looked like someone was chopping down the trees.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Dude, that house looks super unstable.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Okay. So, what would the key be for? The back door? The garage? Side door? Okay, we're just gonna not even try the key, we're gonna go through the doggy door.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Well, should we go upstairs or check down here first? Oh, I do not like this control system.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Well, what is this key for then? I guess let's go upstairs and check.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Okay, none of these doors. Anything? Nope. What's this?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Ah! Really?
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
That's interesting.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. My Halloween candy was all gone. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Okay, that's gross.
Mom, can I come out now?
Well, that's
It's late. Go to sleep.
a fire hazard.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Here we go.
I kept eating and eating.
Yeah. What's wrong with this girl?
I ate a lot of things that night.
I don't think that's actual real.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I
Girl,
reached
if
out
you
for her.
eat this bird,
And suddenly,
there is something wrong with you. Wait, what?
I was a cat.
What is happening?
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
controls are really weird. That you're clicking instead of using the space bar.
I jumped and I
I'm gonna
almost
get you,
got her.
bird.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up,
Oh crap.
and suddenly I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Man, this girl has very imagination.
Rabbits.
Not quite for sure the control scheme for this. It's going to be a little weird. Alright, come on, get the rabbit. There it is. Get the rabbit. Go for it. Really, bird? Oh, this is gonna suck. Maybe slow down and then go for it. Nope. Dude, this is tough. I'm gonna get you. There we go.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons.
This is gross.
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
This
A
kid
mama rabbit.
needs some help.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
What is happening? Oof. Oh crap. Maybe stuck. This is not good. What kind of stupid control scheme is this? Why are we a shark in the freaking woods right now?
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Oh, you're mine. I see you.
I grabbed on tight, but I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
What the frick? Am I an octopus now?
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Not what I was expecting when
I
I
was big
played this.
and moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
I don't think I can go up the wall. Crap. I'm gonna get you, Captain.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water,
There's
I
that girl.
smelled something new.
How hungry
Something
are
I
you?
had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Oh my gosh, so this would be like the most, okay, most
I got closer and closer.
horrible thing. Where am I going?
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything.
I think I'd be checking under the bed.
To fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Alright, so we got Molly, we got Barbara, we got Calvin, Sam, Eddie, Odin. We're gonna have to, I guess, go through the whole family tree, I guess.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here, before my mom sealed the doors. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Oh, I could just use space to get through all that. Okay. Escape? No. How do I get out of this? I don't know. Is there a control? Control normal. Number normal. Huh. Not really giving me much here. I don't know how to get out of this. Wait, why can't I get out of this? Go back. Back. There we go. Use S to go back.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Controls are a little funky on mouse and keyboard.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
What kind of pink carpet is this? And in the bathroom? That's weird. I think that's the first time I've actually seen carpet in the bathroom.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Can I leave? No. Not this way.
It was a pretty big trace.
There we go. So that one key unlocks all these journals.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Someone made a
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd
picture room.
refurbished.
What is
He
it
never
called?
put it down.
Black room? No. I don't remember. Where you do photos.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Is this kid going to kill himself?
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Whee!
I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it.
So close.
I think he'd already made up his mind.
Oh crap.
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Go backwards. Oh.
The day he made up his mind to fly.
Oh my
And he did.
gosh. That would freak me out so much.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Hey, is this that kid just die?
After the
I mean,
funeral,
this is gonna be a
Edie
sad,
roped off Calvin's
super
half of
sad
the room.
story here. Alright.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Now, how is all this built? I mean, somebody would actually have all this built into their
The
house like
passages
this.
were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Right, should I go that way or this way?
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So
Well, that
Barbara
wouldn't have been
got
good.
stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Okay, so I'm actually doing this.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
There's some blood on the freaking door here. Okay, we're just gonna whack it open, sure.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Yeah, that must have been where the father tripped, though. Alright.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear! Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
The thing is, you never checked to see what the noise was, right? Because he didn't make the noise down in the basement. Okay, that was weird. Alright, I got a crutch. I will whack you with it.
Are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Uh-oh. Turn around.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and... was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
Where's the kid at?
She played her part beautifully.
Where we need to go.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
Oh, okay. This is like so weird.
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Maybe call the police. Yeah, don't trip on the skate there. Or maybe go out the door. Do I leave or do I go check? I guess I go check on him. Oh no, he's not there.
Had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh crap.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Yeah, this story is really weird and messed up, and it's just what telling us how every person in this family has died. Horrific.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Alright. Now, can we leave? No. Yeah, let's go back through here.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Okay, did we go the right way or not?
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Okay, I'm assuming this was correct, since it's saving now.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
How is there this many different passageways?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today.
I like
I
a
always
good old
expected
can
to
of
be dead
peaches.
tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
So this whole
Even a
thing's just
monster
gonna be us
on the other side of the door
cans.
starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
Can't go that way.
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Oh my gosh. Dude, this family has had terrible luck. And they're
Walter
still...
died when I was 6. I can't
He
believe my
lived his
mom never
life.
told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself.
Or maybe
And found out
two.
what happened to everyone else.
Is she pregnant?
But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse.
Can we see
We
her
made it
stomach?
real.
You pregnant?
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of.
So yeah,
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
talking to her unborn child, I
The
think.
people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Like, was someone upstairs? Hopefully that's right.
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
It's a little dark.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Yeah,
3
that
of the
would be a
gerbils are
little...
mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven
weird.
built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery. I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Was that it? Or was I supposed to be looking at something?
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Now, if everyone died at this house, I think it's cursed. I think everyone should have got away from the house. But by coming back to here, she's probably gonna get killed.
But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Yep, I was right. Yeah, why are you doing this? This is so dangerous. Is there a ladder here?
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Let's see, something in here.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
There we go.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? What? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
Oops.
Shouldn't we be leaving?
Just
Yeah,
want to get a
that
shot
one.
of you, Dawn, then we can take off. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Hey, what am I taking a picture of?
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Okay, don't think that was anything. Oh, maybe this bird here?
Aw.
Nope. Down there? There? Nope. Nope. What am I taking a picture of here?
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Oh, there.
Hold still while I take a picture.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
Nothing quite like being outside. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad,
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn,
No, there it
you
is.
don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn!
Oof. Heck of a shot.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Okay, this is a little weird.
Sorry, Dawn. Just gotta reset the timer.
Run. Hurry, get up there.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so-
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Oh! Oh my gosh. And that would have been the end of him.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
There's so many like stupid things, and like the whole family is like cursed. Like legit, like every person has like died in some weird way.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
So make sure the animal's dead before you are trying to take a picture.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
Yeah, wasn't this like this
I think
was
he
like
saw
very
things the rest of
tragic.
us
Like,
don't.
wasn't this a baby that died or something? I think. Um,
Send it over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie.
and again, never leave your child
Hello?
in a bath by
Sam,
himself.
I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like.
Come on, get, come on, get. Really? There we go.
He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw. It sure made him happy.
Let's see. Jump on there. I'm assuming I'm supposed to jump up there. Man, this is super difficult.
I know how
there we
simple
go.
it sounds. But I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel her slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Okay.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw.
Oh, so the plug went back in.
Hey, there's so much I don't understand about Gregory. About everything.
So I why you don't leave your kid in the bath by himself. No.
I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
And they got divorced after that. Almost done. I may just end up keep playing and finish this.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Sorry. Or is that what I'm supposed to be doing?
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
There's a storm coming and you don't tell your, or
Rain came
grab
down
your
in
kid to
buckets
get
then, but no one seemed
inside.
afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly
Did that
say
kill
I thought
everybody,
about
or
it
did
on
that
that
just
day.
kill
Out there on the beach alone,
him?
just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
And this is like such a sad story.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me
They're
once
not
if
Tim
I was
anymore.
a boy, they were going to name me Gus. My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
Why am I doing
At the
this while I'm
time, it
pregnant?
was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Okay. Are we done with this room then? Yeah, this is not very safe. Am I going the right way? Can I have some kind of sign saying I'm going the right way? I'm almost thinking I went the wrong way. Did all that for nothing. Seriously? Where else was there to go? Alright, I'm gonna leave this here. I mean, this is gonna be all one video, but I don't have time to finish it tonight, so I will finish it and probably tomorrow. But yeah, this is...
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
I don't know, like I said, I'm gonna come back tomorrow and finish this off. I mean, it's still gonna be one video, but yeah, so I'll be back. Alright.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good.
Yeah, they ain't even got a
Almost normal.
freaking school up here?
But it didn't last.
Anything? No? Oh,
The
crap.
beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Man, I'm so happy this is working because when I jumped back into this game, it was starting me from the beginning, so I am lucky that
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
because I went to quit game and then it jumped me back to the save checkpoint, so really not quite understanding that one. But it's been like a week since I last played. I know there's gonna be a full thing, but do I have to get this all in one? Man, this is a little difficult to do with a mouse. God dang, how long is this flip book? Ooh. Wait, huh?
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Okay, so he just disappeared? Was he like a magician or something, I guess? Man, this family has had nothing but issues. Now what? Ah, there we go.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Yeah, this is just like such a sad freaking story, dude. I'm assuming go back this way? I don't think we went upstairs, did we?
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Someone's in
Louis's room smelled very, very
the weed.
familiar. That part of him lived on.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Oh man, that kind of scared me.
He kept working at the cannery.
This would be such a disgusting
But he
job.
withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
What is happening?
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
No, that went the wrong way. Dude, this is like really hard to do two things at once. But I'm assuming I'm supposed to. This, oh. Oh. More focused on doing the fish than doing this maze. There we go.
And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Louis.
Dude,
So I let him go on.
I'm just trying to focus. I have no clue where I'm going.
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play.
No, this is not a job
He
for
talked
your
about
mind to be
starting a
wondering.
band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
No.
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on.
Don't think the mom would be where the railings are.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen.
I don't know if this has a different story, choosing this way, but that's what I'm gonna go with.
The queen was on her own quest for
Rainbows?
radiant rainbows.
I don't know if this would be like an achievement or
He followed the sound of her.
I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going right.
Silver harp.
I hope this isn't copyright.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
This is a little
He knew the
dangerous
world
here.
was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Dude, you need to wake up.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think
Yeah.
it was overwhelming.
Chop your hand off.
And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Okay. Dude, this is so unsanitary. They need to clean this blood up here.
I began to forget the world we know.
Probably he was high, that's probably why.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
To the great beyond we go.
The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
I just think this is like the saddest freaking story for this family I have like ever seen. Like this family is like cursed or something.
His queen waited, holding his crown.
And we're gonna get our head chopped off.
There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Well, say goodnight.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
So, one more, and we're done? Is that right?
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Yeah, I think
What
this
happened that night
house
didn't
is
come in
cursed.
for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together. and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom said the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance, or that Edie had a key to it.
I don't really understand why the mom sealed all the entrances.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it.
Can you like run? It is so slow.
I lost my way. I got turned around.
Oh, this is gonna be fantastic if I'm freaking lost.
For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things.
Assuming just keep going forward.
Had ever existed.
Or maybe go the way the text are.
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith! Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go!
I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car.
Hang on, can I turn vibration off at all? I don't think so. Like, freaking controller is vibrating like crazy. Where am I at?
I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you.
Man, are we the baby right now being born?
But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
See, I'm trying to understand that. What happened to her? Did she die during childbirth? That's why I'm like, you know, they left it open kind of, so it's like, would they make another one? It's like, I mean, this family has had like the worst luck. I'm assuming we're gonna go through like the creators of the game probably. Which I don't know if there's anything after the fact. I don't know if there's a way to... But I mean, it's such a emotional story is my thing. And it's just like, you know, why make a game like this? Because it's just like death after death. Now, I mean, not everyone died though. Like when they were children, I mean, some of them, you know, they lived their life. I mean, like the grandma and some of the other ones, I mean, they lived for quite some time. I think some music is probably supposed to be going on, but I got that turned off. But yeah, so that was what happens to Edith Finch. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if there's any other games you want me to play in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I will catch you in the next one. I'm assuming this is it. I'll skip to the, or wait for the ending, I guess. but I'm gonna. Oh, there's a team that created the game. Okay, so that will finish the game. So, hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one.